activities, and welcome back to the Devils of the West. We left on quite the dramatic end last time, having saved the small town of Pawara. You returned back to Toad's abode to find...
Have you been waiting to say that?
No, but I'm happy I did. Finding Toad, also known as Delphine Bennet, having been killed, as well as some of her kin. You found strung up, basically, her body decapitated, strung up, and her head sitting with a piece of paper nailed into the forehead of it. And that's where we pick back up as you enter into that room.
Oh, we've seen worse.
And, well, the Catholic Church has arrived.
Yeah, I'll take the note off of her, I guess. As an investigator and officer of the law.
Alright. Just 1 second here, and I will tell you what the note says.
Let me finish writing this note, and then I'll tell you what it says.
Note to self. Eggs, bread, milk. Wait a second.
Some hardened. The Inquisition goes to the grocery store and pulls out a grocery list, and it's like, you know, and it's just like the symbol of the Inquisition, and he's like, "God damn it! I left the wrong note at the scene." I always do that. Another strike by the grocery store killer.
It seems to be a Bible verse that is nailed into the forehead. It is Leviticus 26.
Leviticus.
I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spiritists to prostitute themselves by following them, and I will cut them off from their people. It is written on a piece of paper. It is...
Well, Jeffords, you're a man of religious types. What does that mean?
Well, I reckon these people think they're God.
Fair enough. I'll head into... I want to look in the pantry and see if they, got to her back room.
Okay, so you're heading back to the kitchen area there, where that was at?
What a strange murder. Off to the pantry.
Anyone else hungry? I'm suddenly very hungry. What are the rest of you guys doing while he heads there?
I'll look around upstairs, let's check the rooms.
I'll go look at the outside and look for tracks.
Okay.
Spiky boots.
I'm just gonna say it. Somebody should probably check the basement.
Because all of our problems have always been in the basement.
I'm just saying.
Let's
go down to the basement all alone.
You know what happens every time we leave Grimes alone?
Let me check the outside, and then I'll help you check the back room.
They've got a brick
and
with
then
Grimes
check
written
the
on it.
basement. They've got the sheriff. They've got the sheriff brick.
Are you going to come through that?
But they're like, oh dang it, that was Grimes. Grimes brick.
No, you mean the meat mallet?
It's the Grimes mallet.
But there has to be a sexy lady
Yeah, it's like
behind
he's
that
just
mallet.
trying to judge who's going to come down the stairs first.
It's like listening to the boots. He's like,
the sheriff brick or the Grimes mallet.
So, you're going outside, go and give me a tracking, survival. You're going upstairs, go and give me a notice. Where are you going?
I'm going with it.
Going with Ed?
I'm not going to the basement. Fuck.
What about you?
Explodes. Good way
I'll
to
go
start
with
things.
basement.
Go to the basement? Okay, go and give me a notice.
Oh yeah, because you've had such great luck in basements.
A 3.
We'll start, so the three, moving through the rooms,
Feeling lucky.
you don't find anybody apart from, you do find the body of a servant who has also been shot with a shotgun, it seems like. It looks like they were, kind of, from the look of it, I mean, this is, because it's a 3, you don't find anything else of interest. This person's in a hallway and has been shot in the back and sprayed blood across the hallway as they've been hit with a shotgun. With basement, what was your notice?
7.
7. Moving to the basement, it seems like there's nothing down here that's part of this conflict, per se. You do find a rather strange shrine-looking place that has bone and it's an altar. It's very clearly some sort of dark, creepy altar, and you can see that it has been defaced. Looks like whoever came here not only threw everything across onto the ground, but also it's like a wooden raised altar that has been split. Someone has broken it. Outside, what was the tracking?
12.
12. You can see clearly that somebody rode up on horse. It looks like a single person got off the horse, did this, got back onto their horse and left.
Damn.
And they didn't tie their horse up, and the horse stayed. There's also something else. Like the horse, they just rode up, landed off of it, walked up and did this.
Trained horse, probably.
And for you, moving in, you can see the doorway, that like kind of large metal door that you saw before. It appears like the lock has been tampered with, but the door is still locked and sealed. It looks like somebody tried and failed to open this door.
I give it the old shave and haircut.
That's what you get in response. Sorry, that was roleplay.
It's Captain. I'm not Captain yet. Corporal James Mohan. Anybody inside? All right. I'll go get Grimes.
Okay, going outside, Grimes and Ed are out there looking at these tracks and these. What are you saying as he walks up?
It's just one rider.
A lot of killing for one rider, but I guess a determined will. Grimes, I need your help.
What?
Locked door.
The love of Grimes' life has just been killed, and he's still processing it. The love of
He doesn't
his
even
life
remember her
today
name.
just got killed.
He doesn't even
Again.
remember her name.
I said it in the intro of this video. Do you remember the name?
Toad.
Do you remember the actual name?
No.
Like every love of Grimes' life, I got a clue what she's calling.
Doesn't matter.
No.
It's all the same when the lights are off.
We should.
Alright, Grimes, you gonna roll? Can we roll?
You go back in. You're trying to pick the lock. Go ahead and roll lock.
Thievery.
One of them, at least. If Grimes fails to get through this locked door, maybe we should start carrying sticks of dynamite for locked doors.
That's fair.
I mean, just know I have
Tree, which I think you still have a wound, so.
You are not able to pick this lock.
I need to go to
Will.
the
I'm just
doctor.
gonna say I have lantern oil and
Once
nitric
again,
acid.
I prove I'm about to say once again, I prove myself the superior thief to Grimes before I even roll.
That's the confidence we like here.
Six blows.
7.
You pick the lock.
And just like that, she proves she's the superior thief to
You mess with
Grimes.
it, and it looks like somebody
That
has
was
like
not- I didn't know.
jammed something into the keyhole of this and like wriggled it around to try and bust this thing open. And doing so has kind of jacked the lock up and made it harder to pick. So you have difficulty. You're able to do so.
Probably can't relock it.
I don't think that's an issue.
Also,
I just loosened it for you.
probably. I mean, it also tells us something about the guy who did this. He's not really the.
Subtle type?
Yeah.
Who would have
Well,
thunk?
yeah. I mean, you're right. I guess we did that right.
Let's see what open the door.
Open the door, and inside is a seemingly untouched witchery room. It seems like they're. Everyone who's going in there, go and give me a notice.
Should I
Actually, you know what?
even
No.
try?
Bogus is gonna kind of just hang around and just look around more.
Yes.
Oh wait, I have a fiver.
A fifer?
Also a
I
fiber.
have a
Also
tool
fiver?
so. Thanks.
So that's
3.
There's like some spooky shit in here, and you're so focused on the spooky shit, you don't get much detail.
Oh my gosh, is that a hand?
It looks like there's quite a few, think very classic witchy, totemy, like lots of string dangling, almost dream catcher style, but with all sorts of stuff like threaded and weaved inside of it. Bones and bits of animals and different gemstones and rocks and stuff and the like. You also, kind of looking through here, do find a large cauldron that seems to be set over like an area where you could like light underneath and brew with it. Nothing's in it currently, but you can see that there's like a kind of rack of ingredients and stuff nearby that are labeled with different sorts of herbs and tonics and the like. And you do also see here one vial that's kind of sitting on this and has written on the outside of it 4 enemies. And you you find a book laid out that seems to be on a certain page that is bound in some sort of strange old leather, and it has a walking clasp on the outside of it, but it's open for.
I'll just write
It's
down.
just pig skin. It's fine.
I'll just write down human skin spellbook in my inventory then.
Okay.
What does the page say?
What does
open to?
What does the page say?
The one that is open to right now seems to be going over a ritual that is discussing like trying to scry people, basically, like a ritual to. It seems to be like a combination of herbs and incantations put into a cauldron that would allow you to look into the cauldron and see an individual through it where they're at in the world.
How much do you need to know about an individual to do that?
It seems like, with what this is saying, you need to know a pretty good deal and have something physical of them to do so. Whether it's physically, like it says, like a piece of them or a piece of great importance to them, is how it's worded in the book.
Maybe because of edges that were taken when we leveled up. Anything in that book about like essentially scrying the history of like objects?
There is. This section you're in happens to be the scrying section.
Let's go. Let's try that note.
Okay.
See what we can learn.
All right.
Specifically, I mean, arrays won't matter here. The object reading spell, a success gives 5 years of an object. A raise gives 100 years. That doesn't matter with a piece of paper. I doubt.
It's a tree.
Yeah, I
You
see.
see 99 years of a tree being a tree.
And then things went south.
I'm just like, and it is kind of vague. It is just like some, it's just kind of glimpses of that object's history.
Okay.
But let's.
Are you pocketing the For Enemies vial?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You just write that down as poison.
That sounds
That's still spooked from the spooky shit?
Yeah.
You're still looking around like, this place is cursed AF. They probably shouldn't even be taking anything out of this room, because everything in here is spooky as hell.
Yeah,
You know that, I mean, also with your, go ahead and roll me an occult.
You freaking weirdos taking shit.
4. You don't know the specifics of it, but you know that these are all, like, most of the stuff dangling here are different totems and are probably have theoretically some sort of use or function, though you don't know exactly what any of them are for.
It's not me, unless we want to just box them all up and take them with us.
If I had video game inventory, maybe. If this was The Witcher, maybe.
So I guess I'm making a spellcasting roll.
First one.
Yep, we're kind of bending the rules. I'm going to spend 2 power points. We're kind of bending the rules as far as me being able to do this.
But
I'm
cool, so
very
fucking-
bad at it, which makes sense. I've never done it before. Dice have to explode.
So you have
I
it.
guess, dice have to explode. It's all at a -2. Nope, total of 1.
You kind of like go through this incantation and try to scry the history of this piece of paper, and are unsuccessful in doing so.
Well,
I'm getting out of here.
Okay.
You guys have fun.
You said that Toad was pretty much like the head was hung or nailed to like a cross kind of.
So the body, basically like part of the like scaffolding of the room itself, the
Okay.
decapitated body is hung up like it's crucified
Okay.
and dangling there. The head is sitting on like the coffee table in the foyer, more or less. It's been cut off, and this piece of paper is like somebody held the piece of paper up and nailed a nail through it into the skull of Toad. Whoever did this was pretty brutal about it. Looking at Toad's body, anyone would like to can give me like a, what is it, medicine? Healing?
medicine,
Medicine.
healing.
Good idea. You can do a notice as well. You could do either. It's just what sort of information you get.
You guys will do the notice, I'll do the healing.
I don't have any healing.
Dang it.
5 on notice.
That's a 5 for me.
That's
2 on healing.
a 1.
Okay. This body has clearly been shot with a shotgun, as well as slashed with a weapon of some sort.
I mean, it's not like it's a huge clue that the guy's got a shotgun and a knife.
So
We
he's,
knew he had a shotgun.
so he's
Yeah.
playing Bloodborne.
Well, now, you know what? If that's his weapon set, if he's gone for the shotgun and knife weapon set, I've got a nice scoped Sharps rifle here that might give us a bit of an edge depending on what range we're fighting in. It'll be real dangerous up close, but he may not make it up the hill.
Oh, now I'm just thinking like a Bloodborne character has got like the blunderbuss and the sock lever.
Yeah. Try to think.
I mean, Toad was nice to us when we were here. And it does seem like, by and large, the Eyes of Providence are trying to keep monsters from just preying on innocent people. I mean,
But who stops the innocent people from preying on the monsters?
no. I guess.
Nice shower thought there.
But my
Ideas called. They want their post back.
my point being that, like, the Eyes of Providence don't necessarily seem evil to me,
Are you sure?
but it is the two members of the Eyes of Providence we have met are a vampire and a witch.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that the two, like, vampires we had to kill in Confluence City were probably the governor's fault.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has bad days.
Everyone
Yeah, but not
does that.
everybody kills two people and unleashes them as vampires on an unsuspecting city. And we can agree that Toad was a witch.
But she made good brew.
True.
She made good moonshine, so she's fine in my book.
You do have a bottle of it.
I do have a bottle of it, and I'm not sharing it.
And I mean, my point being that this is needless, like, this is obviously needlessly brutal. And
Sure.
there seems to have been a lot of, like,
Collateral.
yes, collateral.
This is very emotional.
But, like, I suppose I guess I just don't entirely know how to feel about this fella. That
Well,
we're
I'm gonna make a little
here.
Can I go looking for, like, did she have, like, a, outside of, like, her
I'm
little
pretty
chamber?
ambivalent about
Outside
like,
of her
from, like, a personal
chamber,
vengeance
like
standpoint.
in the kitchen, did she have like an office
like-
or something?
An office or
It's-
something?
Like
it's
where
One
she,
second.
cool
let's-
motive.
let's not cross sorry. You guys know. You guys have your talk. And then we'll do it.
I think that Mohan's idea here is cool motive, still murder. You know,
Right.
Like, he's not gonna go on like a personal vendetta revenge mission against whoever this is, but you still have to investigate it as a murder.
Right. I just
Several murders at this point.
Time to be
yeah.
a Pokemon.
I also just feel like I just kind of feel like we can't approach this problem from any moral high ground. As
No.
far as like this, the man that did this, it was us. Like,
And the person who did it too. What's up?
yeah, it's like this is.
These guys are clearly a villain organization. They have a witch and a vampire in their ranks.
what does that make
Listen,
us? So we have a
we
vampire
didn't find
and a body
anyone.
snatcher.
And I suppose now a
we
witch.
didn't find like a little Indian boy starving in the basement, so it's probably okay.
The only two normal people.
I think so.
That's a term used loosely.
Yeah, but
Especially for
compared to the rest of us.
I'm more normal than they are. I'm
You're a
undead.
vampire.
I'm a vampire.
Hey, listen, Reservogus is perfectly normal, okay?
Nothing strange.
Right, that's what everybody will tell him is they're calling it white coats.
Okay, listen
Hello,
here.
old man. You just stay right there, okay?
You're right. You're right. I think like it's a valid viewpoint to be like, I'm going to consider this murder, but I don't feel like this is like this terrible villain. It's a personal vendetta.
My best friend died here. What are you doing?
Okay, well, does she have like an office where she would have her memoirs or somewhere, like ledgers
Is
or
her
some sort?
diary hidden underneath her bed?
You can like certainly go to her room and she'll have like a desk in it and stuff. There's a room that's the nicest and largest of the house. It seems fairly mundane inside of there. You can go and give me a notice to look through it.
No, 3.
You find
From
the stuff that'd be inside of a person's bedroom. There's no like half-written notes, there's no journals, there's nothing like that. It seems like most of her secretive shit was in her basement altar or in her locked-away witching room.
Yeah.
It seems like she kept her witching fairly separate from the rest of her normal day-to-day life.
It's good to separate, to make the distinction.
Yeah.
Take a break, step
life
back.
at home.
One thing, I mean, with the 3, you don't find much besides the obvious. Something obvious is she does have a closet full of clothes, and her clothes vary greatly in their style and age and wear, and it seems like in her closet some of her clothes are very old. Very, very old.
See,
Must be
that's
family
the other thing,
heirlooms.
Is we're like, oh no, how could this happen to Toad, the lady that murders virgins so she stays young? You know, we're like, we don't know. Like,
Yeah, what is this witchcraft book? What does it say about, like, the
What does it
immortality?
say about virgins?
But they are really good for
Staying young.
Staying young.
They're great for the skin.
It seems like as far as like eternal life or a life that would not end by natural means, all that's discussed in this book is like such things are possible, but a deal with dark powers is required to do so.
Oh,
Like,
deal.
basically, it doesn't say this, but basically it's like you probably got to call Scratch if that's what you're looking for.
God,
Right.
There's not really there's rituals and stuff to prolong your life, and most of those require sacrifice of humans or animals. But as far as like a life unending by natural means, the only mention is that of a
I feel like kind of either way, it goes back to my original point of like, I don't necessarily like our exposure to the Eyes of Providence hasn't been like these are the villains, but they're also not really the good guys. I mean, they are having us
they
like
seem
hunt
like
monsters.
a secret society of people that want to be the shadow government, which is always going to be, at the very best, morally gray people.
Right. It just makes me feel like, you know, like it's like, yeah, we can consider it murder as far as what this guy did here. I think just because of the collateral.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, look, we just came from a small town in Texas where we killed like 12 people.
Yeah, but they shot first, so.
I mean, it's a fair point.
They technically.
Why are you
Exactly
such
11 people.
Why are you such a sheriff about things?
Because I'm a sheriff.
I also just want to make
And
that.
I would also like to point out, as far as us not having moral high ground, the hammer of Alabama.
Well,
Okay, no.
that's still a
the
form of
ha-
self-defense.
The hammer is justified, you know.
No, it wasn't at all.
Yes, because with the name like the Hammer of Alabama, you deserve to die.
He was
Just saying.
He
begging to be
never
a
worked
mini
construction a
boss.
day in his life.
He was asking to die. I'm just saying.
I just think that, you know,
Now, Corporal.
we shot Lawless Henson on account of him having a bounty on his head. And then we shot the hammer for attempting to do the same thing.
It was something we knew.
I'm just saying we don't necessarily.
and also, I just
What? You want me to go back and not have shot him?
I appreciate that we did shoot it. I'm just saying that I don't really feel like, all things considered, like,
We're not clean as well.
and like,
I'm not arguing we are. I'm just being very-
we don't really have much of a like
we don't have
personal
Stop being
reason
another
to go after this
remaster.
guy.
It's not a personal reason. It's hey, this what
Supposedly
at least a
you're-
double
Okay.
murder. I need to.
out of character. I'm just gonna point this out. Eventually, this person may end up coming after one of our own, i.e., the one clad black over here,
Or the
So-
witch, or the undead.
or the witch, or the undead. So we don't have to go after them, but we should probably make a note of this and probably let the Raven know what had happened. That's really-
Yeah, we
that-
should probably let Raven know. We might as well we could always send it to
Now, Corporal,
How
so
you
you
been?
decide to investigate this murder, I will join you.
Fair. I'd like to do a walk through the house and just count how many deceased we have. We have 2 at least.
Doing a full circuit of the house, inside and out, I assume, you will find that there was only one servant in the house, dead. There was the toad dead. There was the person at the front door who you recognize, like the older gentleman who greeted you, dead. Also doing like a full circuit of the house, you find another person dead who seemed to be, who like left out the back door and got shot in the back running away from this house. And it seems like they were shot not by a shotgun.
Interesting. So I'm gonna...
And it seems like that person was another family member, another Bennet.
So you think there's only one horse. That doesn't necessarily mean one person, right? There's just one horse.
With your previous tracking record, your previous tracking roll, it only seems like one person rolled up, dropped out, and did all this.
Okay.
But
I'm just gonna try to walk through it. So like the horse is X, hops off, walks towards the house, shoots the guy at the front door.
go ahead and give me another tracking to kind of help him piece this together.
Appreciate it.
5.
5. So for the sake of this, it seems like this person drops out. They move up, probably shoot the guy at the front door. Entering into the house, it seems...
Sorry, quick thing. Can I roll a medicine, or maybe I can tell whether it was a shotgun or a rifle?
The front door, you don't have to roll anything. This guy was splattered against the wall with a shotgun.
Okay.
It seems like shot killed here. From there, it looks like this person either had quite the scuffle in the main foyer that ended in the decapitation and hanging up of the witch, or saw somebody running out the back and shot them. Those two things happened next. You're not sure which one, whether he shot the fleeing person or shot this person. It seems like from there, with some blood splatter and stuff like that, after having done this, the person went up the stairs to see what's going on up there, and this other person was found and killed at that point. The person then went back down, and it seems like from there, went through the main floor. That's when that lock was probably tried to be broken into, and from there went down to the basement, and that's when the altar was defaced.
Okay.
Then came back up. You don't know at what point, like, all the stuff done to the body was done, if that was done at the end of all this or then, but then they walked out the front door, got on their horse, and rode away.
Any shotgun shells or anything at the scene?
There's shotgun shells at the front. There's a shotgun shell there and a shotgun shell up in the hallway up ahead. As well
they
as
seem pretty
one.
mundane, or do they seem...
The shotgun shells themselves seem, they do seem like somebody probably is making their own bullets when they made them, by the shell, but not mystical or magical or weird in any particular.
Was there any? Was there a pistol cartridge or a rifle cartridge?
Don't give me notice. That was a little harder to see.
If it was a revolver,
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm determining. What with this roll?
Action rifle. Unless he had one of them fancy somehow.
Well, yeah.
Which, that's also 1881. So. Oh, really? Is this?
6 explodes. 11.
There doesn't appear to be a cartridge to it.
Yeah.
So we approach him.
Probably. Okay. Good to know. Well, that's the whole walk.
I mean, there were more servants and more members of the Bennet family, weren't there?
There were. It seemed like at any given time there was 1 to 2 servants in the house. You don't know if this happened during the day or the night, but there only seemed to be 1 servant currently in the house when this happened that died at the very least. And as far as Bennet family members, there was always like between 1 and 5 in the house. It seemed like people were constantly coming and like asking Toad for advice or just catching up, seeing how Ma is doing. At any given time, there's multiple family members there, but there's no one besides that one guy who you see dead out front seemed to live there permanently as his residence.
Well, quick thing. Can we tell what direction the horse came from and left?
It seems like they probably rode through town to get to here, unless they were. It depends on where they were coming from. The tracks get very hard to track the further away from this house you get. Either they came through town from the west, or they came from the east.
We could always ask around town. We could send a telegram to Raven as well about. I don't know if you want to like.
Holy
try
shit!
And,
Stop.
I don't know if you want. I don't know if you want to try. And,
Toad dead. Stop.
I don't know
Super dead. Stop.
I don't know if you want to try and code it like I don't know, just like phrase it in a way that he'll.
What happens when a toad gets struck by lightning?
Or like or just be like, dear Mr. Raven, the shipment of toads that you ordered, unfortunately, all died. You know, and then you sign it in some way that he'll be like, oh shit, I know who sent this, but then anybody else who found it would be like, that's fucking weird, why would somebody order a shipment
The
of toads?
toad croaked and
The toad is croaked.
The toad is
Signed.
croaked.
The toad is croaked and found itself with a nail in its head.
The toad has.
We could always ask around town, see if anybody's seen a dude in a black
That's
duster.
what, yeah, I'd say like the toad is croaked, Leviticus, whatever the verse is.
Leviticus.
Signed, James.
Dickus.
What did you just say?
She said Leviticus Dickus.
You'll find it wonderful when I mention my word. Leviticus.
Incontinentia buttocks.
I really need to stop drinking when you guys say some funny shit.
You never know what it's coming, that's where keep on toes.
We say so much unfunny shit, you never know when it comes. So the plan is
Head back into town.
head into town, you're sending a letter
Yep.
saying the toad has croaked that verse.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Or maybe do a telegram so it is guaranteed to arrive
Yeah, I'm gonna pay for a telegram.
immediately.
I think somebody should stay and watch the house in case family members start showing up.
Ouch.
We'll contact the doctor. They don't have like a morgue, so actually this is a fairly big town, isn't it? They might
It's a
have
decent sized town.
they have like a standing police force.
Likely.
So yeah.
So you probably at the very least have a sheriff who has a couple of
Let's
deputies.
see. Eeny, miny. I guess it's you. Just gonna go talk to the officers.
You don't want to do it as the one with the badge.
Oh, I guess I should. But I need to send a telegram.
I can send the
I mean,
telegram.
Oh, okay.
anybody can send a telegram as long as it's
Fair
like, here's what the telegram says.
Fair
Not
enough.
just anybody can send a telegram.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to the guy who presses the button.
Sending a telegram is at least a 2-man job.
I mean,
here it was
you're
a
not-
sick telegram.
You're not wrong. Like sending a telegram is a 2-man job. Like
There's gotta be a guy at either end.
It had to be a sick telegram.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, who's sending the telegram?
I will send the telegram.
You're sending the
I'll make a
telegram.
note of what he wants so I can just repeat it to the person.
The rest of you are going to talk to the sheriffs, or who's going to talk to the sheriffs?
I'm gonna go talk to the sheriff.
Anyone else?
Anyone else want to walk into a sheriff's office here?
No.
Anybody?
I'll go ask around in the
And
saloon
also,
about a feller in a black
I
duster
want
with a
to point
shotgun.
this out. You don't know if I have a bounty yet, so I don't want to hear anything from you.
You haven't seen his bounty.
I have not seen your literal bounty poster. However, when I said, who here would be okay with the state knowing your name and approximate location?
Yeah, nobody needs to know Professor Bogus's approximate location.
I believe your answer was pass.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go to the sheriff's office.
I'm gonna
You're
go
giving the report
to,
I'll go
as a
with them.
ranger. Huh? You go with him?
investigate.
Okay,
Yes.
you guys going in there. Entering in, there's a guy sitting at a desk, got his feet kicked up, who kind of turns and sees you entering in.
Oh,
Sits
my
up,
badge.
puts his book down and
Yes.
says, "Well, hi there,
Romance,
Ranger."
huh?
He flips it over. He's like, "No, it's a tale of." What you want, fella? And he blushes.
I did not mean to come in here and dunk on this sheriff. This deputy.
Immediately
Goes
already
over to
gets,
Did we just meet a lovable NPC?
immediately gets hated by the NPC, does not want to help him in
He
any
does
way.
seem. This deputy seems uncomfortable, having been found reading a romance novel.
I say, we've had a bit of a situation up at the. What's their name? Beckett? Bennett, thank you.
In the house?
Up at the Bennett house.
Good trouble at the Bennetts. What's going on?
Looks like at least 4 dead from gunshot wounds.
Damn, what happened?
Looks like a feller rode up on a horse. About. Can I give
You're just
it an
gonna
approximate time
hold
track
your
it?
badge up like that the entire
Oh,
time.
I'm
You
just-
know it's been in like the last week,
Just
probably.
explains
last week, 2
everything.
weeks from your guys' travel away and back here. But you know
But the
specifically
tracking couldn't give us any more. Okay, fair enough. Sometime in the last week or so, lone horseman rode up, gunned down 4 folks, and rode off. From the look of it.
Damn, Bennett's been here longer than the town's been here.
It's the Nexus veins.
I'll get somebody to head over and assess the situation. Thank you for reporting, Ranger.
Well, I'm here. I won't be here in town for to help out as much as I can. I have some folks, possibly part of my posse, asking around about it. And we'll help out however we can.
We appreciate any help we can get. We'll get to the bottom of this and make sure justice is served.
Well, all right.
Ed! You see a guy with a big mustache kind of walk around the corner, all Scott deputy guy. He says, "Right out to the Bennet, see if you can figure out the situation. Sounds like folk been killed." "Bennet house, damn." And you see this guy kind of goes over and grabs a hat off a hook, puts it on, and walks out. This guy's like, "Well, thank you again, Ranger."
Glad to help. Yeah, I'm Corporal Mohan. I'll be staying at insert name of bunkhouse. Yes.
And I assume you guys walk out. He definitely is like sliding the book.
Yes. It's the little thing. Lance, huh?
No.
All right.
Go on and send the telegram. What exactly does the telegram say? Also, it'll cost you 50 cents to send it.
Okay. No. I mean, kind of exactly what Matty G said. Like, to Raven, Toad what was your exact words? Toad has croaked. Leviticus. Whatever.
Dickus.
Whatever. Leviticus Dickus. Not Leviticus Dickus. That's like whatever
the specific verse was.
Yeah,
26, I think.
Yeah, the verse. Sign James.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put my last name on there.
Yes. Signed Corp James Mohan.
So it can be found at this address.
Currently in the company of a vampire and a witch.
Hey, Lucas doesn't know that.
It's true. I have not successfully done magic
a
yet.
witch, a dumbass, and less of a dumbass.
A smart dumbass, a dumb dumbass.
A smart ass is what
if you pay the 50 cents, you're able to send that off.
Yeah, so.
And those are going to the bar. What you're doing? What you up to?
I mean, I'm not necessarily a charismatic one, but I'd like to ask the bartender if, since bartenders are...
Bartending?
Well, you just usually keep a good eye on everything going on. There was a fella came through town, kind of like, probably kind of a grim feller, well armed.
Shotgun.
Yeah, headed in the direction of the Bennet place.
With a Bible in hand.
Came in, preached about temperance.
Came in here, smashed all the kegs. Monsters.
The bartender, the guy there, he's kind of a balding down the middle guy with some mutton chops, and he's like, mutton chops in the mustache, of course.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, can't say that I've seen any feller matching that description. And then you see this lady kind of says, well, hold on a moment, and walks over to you guys. What's your name, little lady?
Oh.
Ed.
There's no name for a lady.
A lot of people keep telling me that.
Well, I'd be awful sore at my folks if they named me Ed as a lady.
Well, it's just easier than introducing myself as Edmunda.
Bit strange of a name, but more feminine at the very least. At any rate, I know exactly who you're talking about. I seen the feller. The feller rode through town, 5-6 days ago. Dark complected, shaved head, riding in on a white horse.
Dying.
Well, it's certainly dramatic at the very least.
Did it have a companion? Did he have a companion?
He didn't have anything following him, like a dog named Hades. Or
I didn't see no dog.
The literal incarnation of death.
Ed having flashbacks to growing up Baptist. Revelations.
That's a Bible book for all of the audience.
Revelation
Went over my head for sure. All I know is VeggieTales.
I don't know who the feller was, but he had a mean look in his eye, riding with decent bit of firepower, and weird thing stood out to me. I reckon I saw the feller with a sword.
I lines up.
That explains things
Yeah.
too.
Who the hell rides around? We're not talking like
Not like a cow.
cavalry sailor sword.
I love this lady. I love. Can we drag this lady along on this for our adventures? I love this lady.
I'm talking like she was. This feller, the sword he had carrying on him was looking like something you'd see in a castle somewhere.
Like a knight
Made of
sword?
Like a
unbaptized
knight
babies.
sword. Well, you're a handsome young man. Hello there. Welcome to town.
Grimes Garcia.
Grimes, what? Quite a unique name. Nice to meet you.
He's quite a unique
There we
individual.
go.
Especially on the only other fella we ran into anything like him.
He's got kind of that kick dog look to him. Because the neighbor is on the left side.
Did
He was dangerous.
did he stop anywhere in town, or did he just pass on through?
No, he was riding straight through. I think. I didn't see him stop anywhere. I saw folk try and speak to him. He just had that kind of million-yard stare straight forward. Didn't even respond.
Yeah, not even 1,000 yards.
Really?
That fella's seeing 1,000 yards.
He was checking up on Russia while he was walking this way.
There's werewolves in Russia I'm keeping an eye on. Better do with these witches, and I need to find myself a boat.
Seemed like a man on a mission, that's what I'd say.
Did you just... Oh, sorry, I'm out there. Shut up. Fuck up.
Good.
Which way did he come riding from, do you know?
Well, from the west, I don't know where specifically other than that.
And he
The death
didn't.
metaphors just keep coming.
And he didn't say anything to anyone.
Not a word. I didn't see him so much as acknowledge a person he rode past. But when I saw him,
At least we have a slightly better description, I guess. Hopefully he's not coming from the west on account of having already visited another friend of ours. Well, thank you, man. It's been great help.
this feller stir up trouble?
Yeah, looks like it. We're working with a Texas Ranger investigating an incident at the Bennet estate.
The Bennet house? Well, that's an awful bold place to cause trouble.
He's caused a little bit more than just trouble.
Everyone all right out there?
Nobody we saw.
How about old Ma Bennet? She been cooped up in that house for years.
Well, last we were there, she was still there. It's like, it is really annoying.
This lady seems to be prying for gossip.
Yeah.
I mean,
This lady
she has it. All I gotta say is she has a killer headache.
It is extremely uncomfortable now.
She did.
Oh my god!
Fucking Grimes.
God damn it.
As a member of this town and this community, I'd like to be up to date on what's going on. But maybe your friend here, and she's saying this to you
Right.
about him, could buy me a drink. Could catch you up on what's going on here.
You know what,
Catch you up on something.
Grimes, you have fun. I'll find the corporal and fill him in on what we know.
Sounds good. How old is this lady?
She's older than you for sure. She's
Does
someone
Grimes
who
really
seems to
care?
have aged fairly well, but she's probably good. Like, how old is Grimes?
He's
He seemed like his early 20s.
he's like 25.
25. Okay,
Yeah.
so she's probably not quite twice your age, but she's probably not far from it.
I mean, would Grimes really care?
rolling for her age.
She's not she's definitely a good deal older than you are.
Cougars.
He's all about cougars, which good to know. And you leave as old Grimes and your new best friend share a drink.
61? Grimes will smash.
I got 18 over here.
Oh my god.
Well, that was just for on the old gas tank.
Oh, this I wrote.
Grimes barely has to get over 25.
If Grimes is running higher than 10%, Grimes is in.
And again, I just laughed that Jocelyn was just like, how old is this lady? Like, would Grimes really care?
If
I guess
she's
I'll
90,
find the
no.
corporal.
Oh, that's your
Hopefully he's not
cutoff.
still in the sheriff's office.
You just walked out of the sheriff's
We're a
office.
little
Perfect time.
It's just in time to hear, "Hey Ed!"
And then you hear a feller riding on a horse go, "What?" And you see a guy with a mustache and a badge on a horse like, "You got something to say, feller?"
No, that's Ed.
What? Ain't that a lady? No, my apologies, ma'am.
It's a long story.
Your name's Ed?
Your name's it?
Well, Ed's no name for a
But
lady.
it's nice to meet you regardless.
Well, very nice.
There's some place to be.
Well, you take care now, Ranger, and nice to meet you, man. Ed. All right.
Might as well bring you in for impeding a law enforcement officer.
That would not be. That would be third apparently on my list of
Why are you
crimes.
stealing my drink?
Because it tastes good.
I'll fill the corporal in on what we heard about a feller with a sword. Groom color.
Don't drink it all, you weirdo.
A shithead.
Yeah, it's a dark complexion, bald head.
Angry looking feller. Armed to the teeth. Just rode on through town.
Has a sword?
Mm-hmm.
So dramatic. Okay. Well, I'll spin around. Walk back through.
Okay.
Oh, did I knock it?
Nothing happened. No one noticed anything. I think I caught that as it happened, so there's a very brief moment with a weird camera.
Did I whack it?
I think. What? I don't know.
Stop being so dramatic
Yeah, well, I
with your
don't know.
flailing.
One of these days we'll get a second tripod that'll attach to.
Yeah, loosely balanced is perfect. Anyhow.
That's how we operate, loosely balanced.
Do I catch the name of it this time as I walk in?
The romance.
Otherwise, give me a notice.
That's a $5. Why do I do
The fiber. The guy immediately like closes and sets it down, but you just catch it. It's called Love on the Front Lines.
Well, my one of my posse members just got back with some good information.
That was quick.
We it's part of delegating. It's an important skill to have as a ranger.
he like thinking back. He like nods as you think back to the guy he said to go look into the house while you read his romance novel.
He knows all about
be
it.
president someday.
Delegation, he seems to understand.
And I'll give him the description.
Okay.
Dark complexion.
You're like,
white horse.
Are you talking like a cavalry saber? This guy
Apparently
military?
like a knight saber, like a knight sword.
That sounds like a artifact, not a weapon.
Sounds like a bit of a loony.
Well,
I don't know if loony is slang at this point in time, but
couldn't tell you that really. I mean, it very much narrows down who it could be. Not sure to whom, but it's a pretty weird description.
you just put them into the database and it comes up. Well, if you
Not a fella I've ever heard the likeness of before. That's for sure.
it'll at least give you, if he happens to pass back through town, someone will spot him.
We'll
Which is,
certainly,
at this point in time, pretty much the best law enforcement could do once you left the city limits.
we'll certainly get the description out there and have folk on the lookout.
It's a bolo. We just made this guy's monster hunting career extremely difficult.
Goes into Confluence City. I need to pick up some more whetstones. Oat
To
cakes.
sharpen a knight's sword.
You sir are under arrest.
Well, there. We've done our. we have done our civil duty, and I believe it's time for a night's rest.
Okay.
As I assume we're getting in the evening. But,
Yeah,
sure. After investigating and.
Yeah, this one. You have a good night? Go ahead and give me persuasion, see how good a night you did.
You have good persuasion, so that's
This lady is certainly attracted to you for your bonuses. But remember your injuries.
true.
Oh yeah.
If you
Can't be
like,
too frisky.
if you like trying to reach around, give like the old arm over the shoulder and wheeze in pain. That might not be
So-
super effective.
2.
Well, 2 plus your 4 from charisma.
From being variant.
So that's a
Ah.
6.
6. Go have a good night. All right, good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah.
It's not age, it's experience. She's aged like fine wine.
Plus, you can take her teeth out.
Now, if you want to go back to that orphanage, talk to the lady.
No, I was going to say, be careful what you say.
Hey, no.
That might be in the age group what where dentures are involved.
Hey, man, like carpet smash the drink.
Will the carpet smash the drape, sister?
It's just to an old quote from D&D. She's a nun, you sick fucks.
That is an oldie but
That was your first campaign.
campaign.
This is, careful, don't sprain anything. Patching yourself on the back.
Well, it's a well-run campaign.
There.
But yeah, so I guess are we sticking around in town, or are we heading back west? Or?
I mean, it very much seems to me that this feller, since they didn't see him go back through town,
Yeah.
probably continued heading east from here. And that's kind of the opposite of where we need to go. So,
It's the opposite of where I want to go. We're too close to Louisiana for my comfort already.
so as much as it's like, well, we could pursue this guy, but we don't really have that much of a trail. Like, he went east. Wow, what a heading.
There's also a whole war east.
There's also a whole war east. And it's the opposite of the direction that we kind of need to go. So we do kind of have to, like, leave this one to the local Leos, would be my thought, but
Local law.
No.
Again, no, I guess local Leos makes sense because Leos
law enforcement. Yeah,
It's
get
not-
out of my face.
I mean,
It's not
compared
EM
to
peoples.
compared to old Buckwheat and Dodgerton, you know.
That's true. These guys are kind of crack law enforcement compared to some of the other towns we do. So,
Yeah.
Compared to most of the police officers you met, they're crack law enforcement.
I don't know. That fella apparently hasn't been looking at any of their bounty posters. It's just like, hey, yeah, girl with one eye named Ed. Seems familiar to me for some reason.
Well, see, I was waiting for you to like poke your head in the door and like it's like lines up right next to the.
Him not looking up from his book. What you want?
Punk kids coming into the police office. Someone steal your sweet roll.
The question is, out of the two towns we may be returning to out west, which one's still standing? Which one's been burned to the ground by now?
So you guys are hanging in town for a bit?
Yeah, for a night at least.
We've probably got a couple more days before Grimes can make another healing roll.
Okay, well, the doctors and pay them a little money to maybe advance that.
You're going to be making your roll before it'll be relevant.
I don't think I have enough power points to heal wounds that are older than an hour. But let me
That's a
find
thing?
out.
What? It's not good, it's not.
It's got all sorts of stuff.
It is a
Let's
thing,
look
just
into the
none
book,
of them,
that's
like, I don't, because I think it adds,
Like a -6 or something.
no, so, like, it requires another, so, like, regular healing requires 3 power points. The greater healing requires an extra 10 for a total of 13, and I don't have enough. I don't have enough magic, even if I could roll well enough. There is technically a thing called shorting powers, where you increase the difficulty to try and cast something with fewer power points. Let me see exactly how that works, because maybe I can give that a shot.
I feel like though to make the difference up of like, well, I guess if you used all your power points for a day, then
Are you sure the
You might
power
need all
of
those.
someone's mommy kisses isn't gonna help me?
of someone's
The
mommy
power
for
of-
sure.
Consider
That knife's vigorous enough that you're lucky I'm not making your old get new boots.
Every power point a character
Pop some
will
stitches loose.
suffer -1 penalty to the roll. Okay, so I would have to hit a 7 in order to. Well, I've also used 2 power points. So, do you get power points back? Like, do you get like 1 per hour back? Oh, 5 power points per hour spent resting, meditating, etc. So if I give it an hour's rest, I could try and make a relatively difficult
Well,
healing roll.
in character, convince Grimes that you're gonna do a voodoo ritual on him that'll make him feel better.
Nothing on that bone gonna help you.
Listen, if you let us do this, you'll be able to woo more women.
I will at the very least rest to get those 2 power points back. Not that I have much use for them anyway.
For the sake of this, are you going to try and convince Grimes
Yes.
to like? No?
I
was like,
think
no.
in this big book of witchcraft that I took from Toad's house, there is like a healing ritual that could probably heal that broken rib that you've been dealing with for how many months now. If it doesn't work, nothing will happen. I don't even know if I can do it, but it's worth a shot.
Are you gonna curse me?
No. I haven't gotten to that part of the book yet.
Grimes, think of all the women you could sleep with.
I could try and teleport you instead if you prefer. But that wouldn't do anything for your broken ribs. And it's another thing I haven't tried yet.
My mama told me never to mess with stuff like this. So
It's fair.
she was very scared of Ouija boards.
It's fair.
My mom in real life. Don't mess with that stuff. But
Ouija boards and wolfmen.
Wolfman, Ouija boards.
Vegans.
Vegans.
I
Gluten intolerant.
guess you can try.
Yeah, like, why they gotta be so hateful towards gluten?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay,
any
so let's
make it
suspicious
magical.
demons flying out of this book,
This shouldn't have
I'm
anything
running.
to do with demons.
Mostly.
Most of it.
This is I have pretty much no chance to succeed in this roll.
Okay.
Because I need a 7.
There's always a chance.
Yeah, but you could snake eyes and make Grimes never trust you.
no.
I see
Um,
one.
nope. It just don't work. It's just a 3.
Okay.
Damn.
You try this ritual, and you feel like your ribs. It's almost like underneath the skin start to like shift and move, like they're trying to put themselves back in the right place, but they don't quite seem to be able to. There seems to be something mystical and freaky going on, but doesn't quite work in a way that's particularly hurtful or helpful towards you.
I'm no good
Just
at
a
this
little
magic shit.
Ed knows bone magic.
Apparently I don't know any magic.
If you guys are gonna hang here for a day or two, 2 things will happen. One, you'll make me a healing roll.
Yeah.
Just give me a figure roll.
4d6.
D4.
Yep.
That's what you got.
Minus. How many wounds you got? 2
One.
or 1?
I think
1 left.
it's one left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like
Did he get a new one in the last?
No.
Yeah, and they got a new one in the last.
Two.
Ah, it is
Yes,
2
yes,
wounds.
yeah.
This rolls at a -2.
3.
3. No wounds healed. Still 2 wounds. Poor Grimes. Never gonna get better. The other thing that happens is you will receive a return telegram.
Oh, that's nice. It's not just a return telegram from the
From the villain. I'm coming. It's just another Bible verse. It is a return telegram that says, it says for Mohan, and the telegram reads, "Sad to hear of Toad. Return home. Work needs doing. I need info."
Alright. Well, that sounds like orders to me.
Should we swing through Dodgerton and
might as well make a stop on our way there.
Just to make sure the town's still there.
Yeah.
You can give him, a sweet sugar mama.
Give your sweetie a sweetie.
Sounds like a plan.
So you guys are gonna head back through Dodgerton to Confluence City. We'll just kind of cut ahead, riding to Dodgerton. You'll be able to arrive there. No bald figures on pale horses are gonna gun you down.
I
on
assume
the
that's
road.
another.
Traveling there. Well, about the time you're leaving, we'll let you roll that. For now, we'll just what happens in Dodgerton. What are you guys doing there?
Does Dodgerton still there?
It is still there. Moving into the town, though, one thing that does stand out is Harpentry has a closed sign in the front of it.
Looks like he took your ultimatum to heart.
At least took my advice.
Get the fuck out of town.
I'll I'll ask the wife about it when I get home.
Okay. She says that nobody quite knows. It sounds like in the middle of the night there was some sort of ruckus, and then he just up and left.
Murdered someone else.
I wouldn't mind checking out the Harpentry building, I guess, while
Okay.
we're in town.
Yeah.
Like, if any locks are busted or if.
No, yeah.
It seems like it's locked, and that the outside locks are not locked currently. Or excuse me, the outside locks are not broken, but they are locked.
I suppose I'll try and pick the back. I'll take Grimes along with me.
Okay.
Crime. Can't
I'm
spell
gonna
crime
be
without
very
crime.
bad. This road.
Grimes and Crimes share most of the same letters.
Gonna be very
And the one letter they don't share are two eerily similar letters when both capitalized.
Yes. So yeah, Grimes can try and pick the lock first.
Okay.
I'll be on backup lockpick duty. We'll go in through the back door since it's a little less public.
Oh, 4 explodes.
Four explodes.
Oh, there's a chance.
Just a roll.
Grimes has been practicing.
4 total.
Do you have a big lock?
Yay!
Didn't you look into the house? Doesn't take much of a roll to see that the hatch lock has been shattered again, and you can also see. Don't give me notice. Don't give me notice. Don't say anything else. That's clearly been found.
Ooh.
10. You can also see a little bit of blood splatter here.
I'll open the basement and look inside.
Looks like how you left it, more or less. Looks like it's been packed up somewhat.
Well,
I wonder if another person went missing.
There doesn't seem to be. Your wife didn't mention anything of that?
Well, we were right. There was another incident when he packed up another town. I strongly doubt. Okay. It looked like you were about to say.
is buckwheat around?
I don't know buckwheat.
Buckwash.
Yeah, you can find buckwheat.
Nope. I was just if he was around or not. If he hadn't snuck in there and gotten himself fucking murdered.
I just want to know if he's
You
alive.
know that as soon as you go into town, come walking out with his hands on his belt, and like, who's coming up? Well, I'll be.
Here, Buckwash, I got a drink for you.
Should you give him the poison?
Absolutely not.
Well, you know, whatever trouble you stirred up with Harpentry, he done got up and left.
Well, he's a grown man. He can make his own decisions.
I bet he killed that girl. That's my assumption.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think you're too far off the point.
He here comes back, I'll put him in cuffs.
I'll just let him go on that one.
Say what you want. This town does have one person who is actively keeping an eye on it.
You know, he's doing his best.
He's doing his damn best.
It's not complacent.
We've still never met the sheriff.
That's what I mean.
This
Is
is true.
Buckwash has implied he's an alcoholic, but
I don't think Buckwash is all that much better.
No, but at least he's out and about.
He's just a high functioning alcoholic. That's the difference. So yes, you will kind of catch up with the wife. You let her know that you're heading off to Confluence City, more work to do. Okay? She's aware. That'll help her not be pissed at you.
And she's getting my money.
She's getting your money.
Where's my money, Lebowski?
Goddamn money, shithead.
So, is there anything else you guys want to
let me
do
look down
in
there
Dodgerton? Or are you heading
It's gotta be somewhere down
out to
Was there anything else? Are we forgetting something? Are we setting ourselves up for failure later?
Probably. I want I'm going to probably buy some more pistol ammunition while I'm in town. I'm just
Right
looking
at the right
how
choice.
much.
What day is it?
It's not Sunday.
Well, what day is it then?
It's
Friday.
Okay.
$3 for.
I'll remember that.
Okay. Sure you will. Of
course. Of course
Me both, bro.
If you're setting back out on the road, are you riding through, around, or stopping inside of Flint?
Michigan's kind of a long way to go.
You're getting a drink at Sparky's. That's all I want to know.
Absolutely not. I think we intentionally ride through as fast as we can. Or
You don't stop at Sparky's.
No white horse hitched up
Yeah.
outside, is there?
No.
Okay.
I feel like he kind of works for the other team.
Yeah, but
It does.
he may not know that this is the devil's favorite bar.
Or if he did, he'd probably show up and start something.
True.
And we would just sit back and watch.
Scratch, I'm calling you.
Clearly the devil. Feller, move on.
You know, there's a lot of folks that you can beat the devil at a fiddle off. You do not want to fight the devil at a quick draw.
He may not cheat at cards every time, but he will cheat at quick draw.
Mama said the pistol was the devil's right hand.
I mean,
Was.
it
You
was.
got it uncursed.
Well,
He
I
got
still
uncursed
more
it,
pistols.
but it wasn't before he shot
Oh, he doesn't.
correctly.
Every time you see him, he's unarmed. Anyways, he seems unarmed. You feel as if he's armed, though he wears no knife or gun. You ride on, and you guys will be able to arrive in Confluence City, Colorado. It's much the same as you left.
To add a joke that's now far too late. It makes it sound like the devil knows kung fu or something. He feels my buddy.
You could do the straight.
I actually use the
non-touch
katana to
technique.
restrain
The no-touch
myself
knockout.
because me unarmed is so dangerous.
The no-touch knockout.
So, you guys ride back. Are you checking in with the Rangers or anything, or are you just going to speak with Raven?
The Rangers did not call me back here. So, as far as they're concerned, they'll go, "Oh, Bohan, I'm glad you're back in town. Hope you'll enjoy your time away." That's all they'll
No,
count.
the chief is probably gonna yell at him for still not taking a
Did
long.
you talk to your goddamn wife? I swear.
My God, Bohan, I saw you go east.
I mean, I'm not gonna go talk to that fox on your behalf, even though I have met him. I'm not walking back in there.
It's a terrible risk.
I'm good. Last time they thought I was insane and almost tried to send me to a mental institute.
I'm going to the doctors.
Going to the doctors. All right.
She's gonna go try to see her lady friend, and she has no idea.
Grimes is building up one hell of a laudanum addiction.
All right. Are you gonna try and hang there and recover for a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I should.
You did we have you roll your healing? Or
Yeah.
did we left?
Yeah.
When I left Dodgerton.
No, not when we left Dodgerton.
Yeah.
No, not when we left
Dodgerton.
Dodgerton.
No, when we left the other city.
Yeah, when we
We
left.
did do one for you get to do one too for leaving from Kansas. This next week's worth of traveling at least, right across the state king.
Guys.
Not only do you not heal, but the ride is particularly painful. You think the rib's getting worse. Whatever voodoo magic it did probably re-broken.
That was not my fault.
Couldn't be you still doing your ab workouts every morning. Your washboard abs. It's got to be whatever voodoo.
Very attractive.
Sweet.
So going and talking to Raven. Is the whole squad going or just?
I'll tag along. I'll tag along just in case there's a fella
Alright,
that rides
squad's
a horse.
No pale horse. You're allowed in by Jasper Yates, the manager, the butler, or whatever he is. And you're entered in, brought to the foyer. Mans is there, comes out and talks to you all, and he says, "What happened to Toad?"
Well, it was a pretty grisly massacre at her residence. Left about 4 dead, including herself. She'd been killed with a shotgun and then beheaded with a sword by our...
Seems a bit much.
And then the head had a nail note in it with the Bible verse.
And the body was crucified.
And the body was crucified. So you might
They
say
certainly left no stone unturned, did they?
you might say dramatic. Well, you want. Apparently, it was a man riding through town on a white horse. So.
At the very least, has a flair for the dramatic. Which I can respect, though these actions are obviously deeply troubled. We need to get to the bottom of this. I think I'll send Moth that way and see if he can't dig up a little bit more of the full truth of the situation. He tends to be a fixer of these kinds of things for us. And in the meantime, I've got some trouble of my own needing solved. Something hitting a little closer to home.
More vampires.
Again.
Not for me personally, but for Confluence City. Have you all interacted at all with Pioneer ore processing in town?
Didn't we borrow one of their wagons?
No, is that where Jeffers tried to
Jeffers
throw the first amulet?
is on a watch list for going to Pioneer ore processing. Because you're like,
yeah.
can I have a tour? And then toss something in your stomach. Well, the Pioneer ore processing comes, the ore that's brought there comes from Pioneer.
Super cursed.
From all over, but particularly from the Pioneer mines. And the Pioneer mines are up in the mountains nearby from here. And there's been some trouble recently. Particularly nasty trouble, it sounds like. It's been brought to the attention of the Rangers and also brought to the attention of me. I told them that I would solve it because the nature of it sounds a bit in your line of work.
We got a Wendigo.
More ghouls or Skyrim style.
Please,
like
not more ghouls.
every mine in Skyrim, they tunneled into a tomb full of Trogger and now the mines are closed.
He says, from what I understand, seems like this particular cave has quite a bug infestation. And with that, that's where we'll stop this episode of Devils of the West. What that means and what they're going to do to you, let's find out next time.
We're gonna need another tank of kerosene.
We're just gonna need to bring Sam and put him in the cave.
Yeah, we got. We talked to the farm. You got all your men out of the cave? Well, yes, sir. It's been dangerous in there.
Send in Sam.
Excellent. Where's your dynamite storage?
And we'll find out just how that goes for you next time on Devils of the West.